Hey, do you want to know how to sell more books and get on the first page of Amazon? Well, I have 5 tips for you today, and they're based on understanding the Amazon's algorithm. I think it's really important that you guys understand Amazon's algorithm so that you can work with it instead of against it. I know a lot of people are always like, why don't I have sales? Why is this just not working for me? Well, I think it's sometimes we don't understand how Amazon works and how the customer experience works. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for this video. All right, I am Ashley Schmidt with Publish with Ashley, and I am here talking to you about my 5 tips. And basically, I'm going to kind of go through Amazon's algorithm and explain what an algorithm is and how code works so that you can understand that, so that you can use these 5 tips and see your sales increase. All right, so let me go to my screen. All right, so I have kind of a PowerPoint here because I like to do words and visual, and I hope that helps you guys. All right, so basically, an algorithm is computer code with a set of instructions for the computer. It tells the computer what to do, and Amazon's computer code algorithm is super complex. It has so many variables, more than you can probably imagine unless you're a coder, and coders can imagine quite a few. But no one really knows how Amazon's algorithm works. There's a lot of people who tell you they do, or it's all these different things, or even me, you may be a little skeptical. But a lot of this is based on, I am an electrical engineer. I've done coding and things like that. So I kind of understand AI and how coding works. And, people who give you tips also do observation. So no one really knows exactly how it works, but it changes. You can have ideas, and the algorithm itself changes all the time. And we'll talk a little bit why that is. Besides human intervention, there's artificial intelligence and things like that. But Amazon uses code for everything. That is how they can keep their prices really low because, those automated responses you get for you did this wrong or you didn't do this or something. It's because they're using code to determine, certain parameters, and it just sends you an automatic email. Those emails sometimes are faulty, sometimes they're accurate, but either way, you get a lot of that stuff because that's how Amazon runs its business, through code and algorithms to basically keep costs lower. A computer can work 24/7 and get more computers, and you've got more people, right, working 24/7 for you, and they don't even complain, and they don't need food. They just need some electricity. All right. So, but lots of, these coding things can explain why you get rejections, why if you're just a tiny, tiny off on your cover, it automatically gets rejected. It's just the program following its code. So there's no point in getting frustrated. Just accept that and kind of move on from there. All right, so the next one is, let's talk specifically about Amazon's algorithm. There are lots of variables, right, like I said before, but this is kind of the basics. Hey, Bailey, I'm live, so if you guys like live shows and want to ask questions, please, come to my YouTube channel on Wednesdays at noon Eastern time. All right, so some of the variables with Amazon's algorithm, it uses search terms and keywords typed in by the customer. Remember that Amazon wants the customer to find what they want, and they want them to buy it. I know actually in the past, I think about a year ago, I did a similar show to this, but this has been updated and I've added some stuff. So, and kind of some of the changes what they have. So even if you've heard this before, stay tuned and listen, because you'll get new things out of it each time you listen. I know when I listen to stuff, I always get new stuff out of it. So I was looking through, and this is one of the things I was kind of thinking about, is like, how do they do search terms and things like that, so that maybe you guys can understand how it works, so that you can create and structure your keywords and do your research in a way that makes sense. Amazon basically looks at 3 types of things. They call it exact, phrases, and broad. Exact meaning that it looks for exactly what the customer has typed in, like the exact words in the exact order. Phrases means that it's pretty much the same words, but not necessarily in those order. And broad meaning that it uses some of those words and will also put in synonyms. So it will bring up things that other customers in the past have searched for and purchased based upon the keywords that previous customers put in. So kind of that idea of synonyms. They've also programmed synonyms and spelling, misspellings, and all that sort of thing into it. So it's a pretty smart program, but they kind of look at it, like I said, 3 ways. And that's kind of in order. Exact is first, phrases, and then broad. And that's how Amazon's algorithm goes through and says, okay, what books will pull up based upon the exact, the phrases, and the broad. Now, exact kind of is first, but then your phrases and broad, that gets your results. You type in the exact words and it's not the first to come up. It might be something else. And that's based upon all these other factors, because all these other factors play into it. Amazon uses the BSR, so the bestsellers rank, books with a higher bestseller rank, meaning higher, meaning better. So technically, I guess that's lower. So number 1 BSR would get shown before other things. So it's kind of a popularity contest if you think of it like that. If a book is purchased frequently based on some of those keywords that have been typed in or synonyms of those keywords, then that is likely to come up. You also have ads playing in there, sponsored ads, but that's a different kind of algorithm that pushes those in based upon what people have bid. But those do show up based upon the keywords and what people bid. All right. Now, there is a bump for when something is published. So when published is kind of a determining factor if it's been published recently, a long time ago, and that sort of thing. So a new book actually gets pushed by Amazon's algorithm for 30 days. It gets a slight bump. Don't think this is like a huge jump, but it is a bump because Amazon likes new stuff to hit the platform. They like to make the platform fresh, have new ideas, new concepts, new books. And then honestly, people buy, if you're into self-improvement, I've went through so many self-improvement books, right? So I like new stuff coming onto the market. And Amazon likes that too, because they know people have purchased items and they are likely to purchase more if they're interested in that sort of subject or topic. So new things are good. There's also the long sales history. So that BSR kind of documents that sales history. Consistent sellers are going to definitely show up higher in the search results than ones that don't sell. So the longer it goes without sales, it is less likely to pop up in your search results. So it's not impossible. Their organic stuff that doesn't show up shows up all the time. And that might be due to the exact phrasing, right? If someone's looking exactly for something, it's going to show up. Even if it's something kind of odd, it might show up sooner. Or people could, just scroll down to all those pages and find exactly what they're looking for. But the longer it goes without a sale, so the lower the BSR, meaning like the bigger number, 10 million or something like that, then it's just less likely to show up. It's also based upon the customer search history and purchase history. So each person is tailored. Amazon knows it's you via your IP address and what computer and all the things you log on. And so they track your search history and your purchase history, and they will put things that the algorithm thinks you will purchase based upon other customers with a similar customer profile purchasing. So each person who's on Amazon literally has a customer profile, and the computer knows exactly what you've purchased, what you've researched, what you've searched on, and all those sort of things. And so it will suggest based upon customer profiles who have a similar, meaning they have certain, key factors that Amazon's decided correlate. And that's lots of big words, but basically if you buy stuff similar to someone else buys on certain factors, then Amazon will put you in kind of a similar customer profile category. Okay. And it's like anything, you may have 10 matches, 20 matches, 4 matches, whatever with that other customer, but it's going to suggest stuff based upon that. Okay. Books that sell together. So things that sell together are often also, even though not exactly those keywords, will be offered because the algorithm knows that if somebody purchases a dog coloring book for adults, they often purchase a dog coloring book for kids. This is just an example, but it's things that computer algorithm has decided these things get purchased together frequently. And so even maybe though the keywords aren't exactly the same, it will offer it to the customer because it is, it's likely that they might buy these sort of things if they buy this other thing. So ads definitely play a role in where you get in there. Even ads in the sense of if you are running ads and you don't get sales off ads, you might get more likely to show up in a keyword research because your book is you're kind of paying for it in the sense if it shows up for those keywords on an ad and people have been interested in clicking on it and that sort of thing, maybe they're not purchasing it, but Amazon knows that there's interest based upon those keywords. So that will actually boost your ability to be ranked for certain keywords because people are clicking through on it. So it kind of raises the visibility of your book, even if you aren't necessarily converting. Now, if you are converting through your ads, obviously, it's going to be shown more often because Amazon bases a lot of that stuff off purchase history, right? We talked about if it's being purchased, Amazon wants to show it to people because it's likely to get purchased again. Reviews also kind of has what I call like the longevity. The more reviews you get, the more, I guess, solid your placement is on Amazon's ranking chart of where it's going to put you on the search results. Excuse me. But that doesn't mean that you don't have you have to have reviews to get your book shown. It's just one of these many factors, right? So Amazon actually uses artificial intelligence, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So sorry, this is really technical, but I think it's important to understand because even if you have to hear this over and over and over again, it helps to understand why your book isn't selling or why it could sell better or things that you can control that are within your control. And we'll talk about the tips based upon this information after, but it does help to understand this, I think. So you can think like a computer, I guess. So AI is the ability to learn and make decisions based upon a set of code parameters. So computers being able to learn, right? Amazon even says that they use AI, and this is what their AI focuses on, is to improve customer experience, optimize business processes, and accelerate innovation. Okay, so that's what Amazon's focusing on. They want to improve your customer experience. They want to optimize, right? Optimizing business means they want to get the right product in front of the right customer so they purchase it. That is the optimal chain. And accelerate innovation. So accelerating innovation is, that idea of looking at the connections and then seeing what connections are not necessarily obvious to a human, but because a computer can sit there and crunch the numbers all day long, it would be more obvious to a computer. Sorry. So what this means is the algorithm is literally changing itself with every single search, every single query, every single customer who browses and purchases something. The algorithm is a learning machine. And yes, humans intervene and change things, but they do so when something breaks or they notice an outlier that doesn't seem to work, right? So they'll push stuff in to make the process smoother because sometimes things, even though they look connected, aren't necessarily connected, and that can skew results. And so a human will come in and fix that. But itself, the algorithm itself is learning and growing and changing every single second by itself, okay? And it will see connections that the human mind will not see. And then we as humans will go in and say, does this make sense? Does it not make sense? And they'll start looking at the analytics and saying, yeah, that makes sense. We don't know why, but it does. There was a story I read in a business article about a man who owned a self-storage type thing. And he knew how many like self-storage units to, like if he had to build some more or something based upon the number of boxes people ordered, because he had like a U-Haul and boxing and various things. And so based upon the boxes that people ordered, that's how many self-storage units he would need. And you think that doesn't make any sense why that would make sense. But he found that it was a relevant connection for whatever reason. Computers will find those things that don't necessarily seem to make sense to us. Like that did not make sense to him why that was a thing, but it was directly correlated. So computers will find those sort of things that we necessarily wouldn't. Hello, Marv. And let's see. Okay, so here's I'm going to go over Amazon's algorithm's 2 goals, and then we're going to talk about our tips. Okay, so Amazon's algorithm optimizes the customer experience and sales, right? Remember, it talked about what AI is for. It is because it wants the customer experience to be good and they want people to purchase stuff. Okay, so if you remember this, they want to sell books and they want to reward books that sell. They want books that speak to people, that capture their attention, they click on, and then they purchase. So when you think of it that way, I know people are all upset, like, well, why is that awful cover getting attention and having a million results? And why does Amazon keep showing it to people when my book is better? Well, it has a proven record. People like it for whatever reason that you may or may not understand. They purchase it, they buy it, and Amazon wants to continue to reward that. They don't want to necessarily block out new competition, which is why they offer that 30-day boost, because they want new products to come on and, inspire customers and customers to purchase more. So they're not necessarily, trying to hinder that, but they do want things that sell. Okay. Good morning. All right. Next. Sorry. Okay. How do I use that? Here's my tips. So my first tip is, remember, it's all about keywords and the exact versus broad and phrases. Sorry. So you do have to think kind of audience niche oriented. Remember, I had that video, if you've seen it, about think audiences and not just niches. It's kind of one and the same. I like to think of an audience I'm selling it to, and then kind of find a niche that I'm looking for. So, but I have what's called the rule of 3. So it's like 3 things down. You don't just make a dot to dot book. Okay. You make like a dot to dot book for seniors, and then you make it for poor eyesight or easier, right? So you're going to have maybe bigger dots, bigger numbers, less numbers. Maybe it's for anxiety or something like that. I kind of have that rule of 3. I'm thinking about my audience would be seniors. What kind of things do they want? Well, they like things to keep their mind sharp. They like maybe dot to dots or mazes or whatever. And what do they need? They need something that they can see well, like large print, bigger size for their poor eyesight, possibly. So I'm kind of thinking that way. A guest book, it's a wedding guest book. And then it's maybe for Christmas, for fall, for winter, right? You can see how I'm niching down. I'm really focusing on that couple that's getting married at Christmas time. Okay. 2022 planner, homeschool, multiple children. So I'm focused on that mom, right? The audience is a mom who homeschools and she has lots of kids. So what kind of things would she want? And what kind of words would she use? What kind of, that sort of stuff. Memory book, mother, and then one that's focused on necessarily like a gift book for mothers, but a mother-daughter gift book. So maybe it's a memory book just to hold mother-daughter type memories. It's not a gift for Mother's Day maybe, but it's specifically for mother-daughter. Maybe you could mother-daughters, mothers of twins, things like that. You can kind of niche down, thinking about what type of audience or mothers, what maybe their specific need is. Okay, title and subtitle are one of the most important things when you're talking keywords, right? But my tip is, do not repeat words. Now, you can repeat words like to, the, with, which Amazon's algorithm completely ignores the connector words. It does look at keywords. So don't repeat any keywords, okay? Use synonyms. So here's one for the memory book it was the guest book. Our Winter Wonderland, a snowy Christmas wedding guest book to record memories. And I probably have, something wintry on the front and snow and something like that, right? And I'm using all the keywords, but not necessarily any of the same keywords. Another one for like the seniors with the large print. So large print, connect the dots, book for seniors, keep your memory sharp with easy to see numbers. Something like that. I'm not saying these are perfect. I'm just trying to show you the concept and the idea of not repeating keywords, and you can use synonyms and get your concept across without repeating words. Okay, so I did think about this. I was trying to say, should I say dot to dot book? Well, no, because I have dots. And so dot and dot is the same word as far as the keyword algorithm is going. Now, I might include in my keyword, the 7-word boxes, dot to dot, that specific phrase, because I have room there, but I wouldn't repeat it. I'm so sorry. I would not repeat it in my my subtitle or my title. All right, next. Okay, tip number 3. Create the product, the interior, and the cover with your specific audience in mind. So you're thinking about what your target market wants and needs. If we're looking at mothers, maybe the Christmas one, let's do that Christmas guest book. So a Christmas guest book, you're going to maybe have, maybe you want to make it in color because you want to put hollies inside and things that are kind of invoke that Christmas spirit. Maybe you want a landscape of snowy landscapes. And you're going to definitely make sure that it's for couples who, the cover is going to be white Christmas, or maybe it's the Christmas theme with holly reds and greens and golds. It just depends. You can try different things, but you're really focused on what that audience is looking for. Okay. And that's really important because remember, the algorithm rewards congruency. So if you're stating it's a winter wonderland Christmas guest book, and you put, hollies all over the front, but you said it was winter wonderland, people are going to be like, that doesn't make sense. And then the algorithm will say, oh, when somebody searches for winter wonderland, this holly one doesn't sell because guess what? If they were looking for winter scenes and snow and you gave them just hollies on the cover, then it's a mismatch, right? So it's not going to reward that. You want it consistent and congruent. Your keywords, your interior, all of it should match. Now, if you wanted to put like a holly or here or there in this inside, that would probably be fine even with winter wonderland, but you wouldn't want it to be dominated by that sort of thing, right? So it's about consistency. Okay, let me see if I have a few questions. Is there a way to tell that Amazon is really boosting your product in the first 30 days? No, but it is a thing. Like Amazon states that will give you a boost for 30 days. Can you tell how it's doing it? No, because it's got, its whole thing, right? The Amazon algorithm is a crazy thing, but it does do it. So to actually go to that point, is consider promoting your books either via ads or social media for those first 30 days. Don't just set it and forget it. You can do that, but you're missing an opportunity, right? Since the algorithm is actually trying to boost your book for those 30 days, then you can, you want to push it. You can use ads if you want, but you can also use free methods, social media, whatever social media outlets you want to use, Pinterest, Facebook, however you want to promote your book. But if you have that audience in mind, right, and even an audience in mind, like Christmas guest book, right? So Christmas guest book, you're probably not going to promote that in the summer. I mean, yes, people start to plan early, but that's maybe a little too early, maybe beginning of fall. So you want to know your audience. So maybe you want to release your book towards the fall so that you can get that boost of 30 days and promote it then, right? So you've got it. That's kind of why it's important to know so many things. It will give you some ideas on when to release things and when it is helpful. Okay. Okay. So if I was going to do ads for Amazon ads, I would actually do ads against similar titles. You can do product ads and keyword ads. So you pick keywords of popular books and you put those in your ad, which you can for an ad. Remember, you can use trademarked words and all that in an ad, not in your product description or any of your keyword boxes, but in an ad. All of that is fair game. You can push it against products that are selling really well, products that your audience would be interested in. And that's kind of some ideas. And remember, ads for your target audience. So it's not just the best-selling book that is exactly similar to your book. Like you might want to, like with the dog coloring books, dog coloring books for adults, and you have a dog coloring book for kids, you might want to promote it, your dog coloring book for kids to dog coloring book for adults for an ad, because maybe grandma, grandpa like to color dogs with their, grandchildren. You can try it. The more connected it is, a little bit more it makes sense, but that's something to try. You just got to think of what kinds of things could be connected. So, and something else I didn't mention, remember, I meant to put it on here. I put number 5. You're going to get a bonus one. So this is like 4A or 6, if you want to call it 6 before 5, because I want to mention it while I'm forgetting or while I'm remembering it, is price, changing your price. So if you adjust your price, Amazon likes, remember, they like their customer to purchase things, and customers tend to purchase things when it is discounted. So I'm not saying you have to discount your book a whole lot. Maybe take 10 cents off, change your book price just slightly. And that will refresh the algorithm. It'll kind of relook at your book and say, oh, it's cheaper. Customers like cheaper books. Let's show it to our customers to see if they like that idea. So changing your price can actually kind of boost a book that's dead. It won't necessarily, but it's worth a shot when all you have to do is go in and chase your price like 5, 10, 20 cents, right? Change it a little bit, not much, but try and do that. You can even try and take $1 off if you have enough profit margin in there, and see what happens. So number 5 is do A+ content. Now, especially with low content books, I know you guys probably, as of yesterday, no, 2 days ago, the 16th, they have this separate, you don't get an ISBN for low content books unless you purchase one yourself. Then there are some rules with that. I actually was reading the rules last night, and one of those things is they are not going to do the look inside feature for low content books. Okay, so this doubly means that if you have a low content book and you're not getting the look inside feature, you need to put A+ content out there. Okay, it doesn't need to be anything massively complex. It can be a picture of your book with somebody using it, and then a few just paid, interior pages. So a few page shots of on a pretty background of some of your pages so that people can see it. They're going to, Amazon is going to reward this in the sense that it increases the customer experience on your product page, and it is more likely to convince customers to buy. And the more customers that are convinced to buy, you are rewarded in the algorithm, right? So I do think A+ content for low content books is going to become a lot more. And I'm not talking journals. I don't think for basic line journals, A+ content is going to be very useful, because you're just going to see a bunch of lined pages. So not that sort of thing. But if you have a log book or a low content book with unique interior pages, or has a certain setup that you think your customer will really like a planner, like if you're doing some sort of homeschool planner and you want to kind of show the different types of pages, that's definitely something I think for low content you would want to show on A+ content marketing, because it's going to enhance the customer experience. And I think in the long run, Amazon's going to reward that sort of thing. Okay, so let's see, just some good afternoons. Thanks for answering. All right, you're late to the party. I love it. Okay, you guys have any other questions? This is kind of it, I think. Yep, that was the last slide. I know this is maybe a little different and maybe technical, but I like to explain. I'm an engineer, right? So I like code. I don't like to code, but I like the idea of code. And I understand code, and I understand kind of how programmers work. One of the things I actually worked on was, AI, and how does AI work, and how can we create AI that is more functional and acts more human. It is within a certain set of parameters, so don't think it's the end of the world quite yet. We're not there yet by any means, but it does think for itself in the sense it says, okay, these two things connect. Okay, that's great. And it tries that out and says, oh, they connected again. Ooh, that's good. So we'll use it more often, right? It's kind of that 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 thing. It says, we'll try it. It worked. Yay. If we put these together and it sells, we should try it again. Oh, it sold again, right? So you can see how it would say, oh, this is more correlated. So if you understand those things about the algorithm, you can kind of understand why it's either hard to find your book or not. Now, I admit there's times where I put something out there and I think it's going to sell, and it just doesn't. And I kind of go through what I know about the algorithm to try and boost it. Should I put some ads in? Should I try and change my keywords? Should I change the price? What kind of things can I do to push it a little bit? And sometimes, those work, and sometimes they don't. But at least I have options and things I can try based on logical assumptions. All right. Any questions? Anyone have anything else? Hopefully that wasn't too technical. But I just wanted to give you guys kind of an idea. If that's it, that's kind of all I have for today. Let me remove my screen, and nope, I don't see any more comments. So I will see you live on Wednesday. I'm here live every Wednesday. I'm actually, so things I'm going to do is I had a few questions about the Amazon algorithm. No, I'm sorry, Amazon ads, the lottery campaign I did. So the lottery campaign, I actually have a video that I've created, but I need to edit it still a little bit on the Amazon ads. So like how my lottery campaign is going, how to set up your own and try it and that sort of thing. So I have that in the works. I should probably release it in a day or two. I also am creating a cool course on digital notebooks. So if you guys want to learn how to make your own digital notebook in Canva, because I actually figured out how to do it in Canva and put it on Etsy to sell. It's something that's kind of fun. It actually doesn't take too long, and it isn't. I've had this course set up. It's really short videos, 2, 3. I think the longest one so far is a 7-minute video. But I think it's kind of a fun skill that you can take this skill and this idea and use it for lots of other things if you just kind of use your imagination. But it seems more complex than it actually is. So I've kind of gone through and created a digital notebook in the most simplified, efficient manner that I can possibly think of, and showed it to you. Oh, sorry. I added the thing back in. All right. So that's kind of things that are coming up. I'm hoping that I can finish up that course in a week or two and then have it released to you guys. I ran into a video snag. I kept getting these random bleeps on my audio, so I had to redo some videos. So I'm hoping I can get it done in the next week or two and have it out to you guys, since I think it's kind of a cool thing to learn how to do. All right. Oh, Bailey says, if you have a print book and a Kindle version, should you keep the 7 backend keywords the same or take advantage? I would keep most of them the same, but yes, try out maybe one box, trade out some words and see, which one might work better. It's hard to tell if you change everything, what's selling better. Is it selling better because it's a Kindle version? Is it selling better because it's a print version? So if you change too much, it's hard to tell. But I would change out a few keywords, because why not? But I wouldn't. There's certain core words you're never going to change out. But there's those words you're like, should I try this? Should I not try this? Those are the ones that you can definitely switch out. And also, if you're doing a Kindle version, try and promote, do it in Kindle Select so that you can do the free promotion. And that way you can get more visibility, because with the Kindle version being shown more out there more, it's likely someone might actually purchase the print version. They might see it for free and say, oh, I want the free version. And they go, there's a print version. I want the print version too. I know a lot of people I'm included in this, that I purchased the Kindle version and I purchased a print version because I'm like that. And there were other people like me. If I really enjoy something or I feel I'm going to get a better experience out of the print version, I will purchase both. I do it all the time. So definitely use that to your advantage. Okay, any more comments? I don't think I have any more, but that's what's coming up. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and I will see you next Wednesday, and be on the lookout for my next video about my Amazon ad lottery campaign. All right, thanks. Bye.